Good morning, Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise fans, and happy Saturday. Welcome to the Brunch Club edition of Highway to the Threemus Zone. I am Moonblaze Wolf, and I am joined in the booth this morning by Sheep Launcher, and we are here for the Round 1 Magma Route match between Revenant and rumblefish82, who both went 2-1 in the original preliminary round robin, and now they are playing for a spot at the table. So this is going to be a really good match. We got two very good runners for you this morning. And Sheep Launcher, let's see, we got our 4 objectives here. What do you think, kind of given those a once over?
Yeah, the objectives, at least one is doable right off the bat, defeat the boss of the Mist Cave, and otherwise if we have a key item hunt, the Legend Sword, the Adamant, the Luca key, and the pan. So whoever can uncover those key items first is going to have a big advantage in this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that we're pretty key item heavy, but really we're kind of playing 2 out of 3 because that boss of the Mist Cave should be very easy for both of our runners. Also noticing on Rumblefish's screen that we've got a tele start here, and I imagine both of our runners are pretty excited about that. I don't know. What do you think, Sheep? Do you like a telestart? I know I do.
I certainly do, yeah, especially in these flag sets where the loot is so scarce, you have to go into more places to loot, and Tele gets you out of there with a quickness. Tele starts with exit. That's really his fundamental purpose in the early game, is to get you in and out of places like the Watery Pass, which is where I expect a lot of looting to be going on in the early game.
Yeah, absolutely. Tella is, basically just kind of like that Swiss Army knife character. He can really do it all for you. He's got exit early on. He's got pretty low agility for the end of the game if you're looking for an agility anchor for Zeromus. He can cast all of the utility spells that you would hope on both the black magic side and the white magic side. So you got your weak, you got your blink. He's also got blink right off the bat, which is incredibly useful sometimes. Berserk, and then relevant to this format, at least for a few more weeks, is the warp spell, which he learns after completing Mount Ordeals, which we have the warp glitch enabled. So once our runners complete the dwarf castle check, they can warp and grab the Luca key or Luca cave key item as well, at their peril, potentially, if they're worried about the demist being at that boss spot. But we actually have a Luca key required potentially seed here as well with that unlock the sealed cave objective. But it looks like our runners are underway here, so let's see what we got.
Yeah, this is exciting. They're both going to be looking for a fast start. Going 3-0 in the Magma route is going to be so important, and it's an old man start. Tella and Sid, Dark Knight Cecil giving us the pink tail. Not useful. The pink tail doesn't give adamant armors in this flag set. You need a hook to access it anyway, so not much to go on, but a great early game party with Tella and Sid.
Yeah, we got Team Beard rocking it out here. Now, the thing I personally don't like having both of these characters, at least long-term in this format, but it is pretty good to start with, because while Tella excels with the utility in the early game, Sid really brings the damage, and also that hit point total, starting out just a little south of 800 hit points, is also very useful for a lot of things. So yeah, I would say this is a pretty powerful start, and I'm sure our runners are going to be trying to add on to that as well.
And in fact, Rumblefish going straight to the Antlion Cave, going straight for a key item check, not even bothering looting right away, thinks he can make it through just fine with this early party.
Yeah, this is kind of a power move here by Rumblefish. This is something we typically see in this format. We see a lot of character checks. We see a lot of looting right off the bat. Rumblefish has decided that Tella and Sid are a good enough team just to immediately dive that Antlion Cave and get going here. We also didn't really talk too much about this, Sheep, but I know based on the objectives that we see here, it is entirely possible this could be a very fast seed if we find a couple important key items early on.
Very much so. It all depends where those key items are hiding, and also where the Darkness Crystal and Pass are hiding. I've seen a couple of seeds where those were the main gating items, but Revenant in the Watery Pass, there's Dark Knight Cecil, and he's going to leave him there.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play for Revenant there, just to have that Cecil waiting there. Pinktail could turn into a very good weapon for a Cecil potentially later on, and it's pretty likely that we're going to do our deals as well. So knowing that there's that Cecil there, either for first Cecil or second Cecil, if you want to find a anchor combination later on, those are both pretty good. And we see Sid and Tella finding Mylon and the Ghasts here in the Antlion spot. And so I don't imagine he will have too much trouble here. I'm kind of curious. I'm already sort of mentally taking a note to ask Rumblefish about this later, because sometimes you might opt for a fast start based on what you're seeing with your party and what the game gives you right away. But it's also entirely possible that Rumblefish has scouted Revenant, because these two have known that they're going to be playing for about a week now, and may know that Revenant prefers maybe like more conservative starts, and has decided that it just wants to get up and go here with this starting Tella and Sid. So I'm kind of curious about that. I think this is a pretty unorthodox choice, but it could be really good for Rumblefish here if things fall into place.
That's true. Although Revenant is finding some nice things in the Watery Pass, 2 defense swords. So if Kane ever shows up, or even 2 Kanes, Revenant will have him nicely decked out.
Yeah, absolutely. That is kind of like the main trade-off here with going for this aggressive start, is you are really foregoing, at least temporarily, the opportunity to loot some really good treasure. And we do have the T Wildish flag in the flag set. So as you saw, Revenant just pulled some very, very good loot out of Watery Pass there. And Rumblefish gets a twin harp, so we could be seeing some early harp music here.
You can keep your loot. The twin harp is the ultimate treasure, if you ask me.
Playable twin harp for Edward Wen. But yeah, Rumblefish clearly has decided that just going to clean up these key item spots early, because already immediately running to that Fabul check here.
Yeah. Yeah, Rumblefish playing it very aggressive here early on. The Mylon fight, he didn't have a problem. It was a little slow because he didn't have a good way to do AoE damage, but he got through it just fine. A Sparkle is attacking, and it's Pale Dim, which should be doable in this spot.
Yeah, that's absolutely the trade-off there, is, potentially these fights could be a lot faster for Revenant, although hasn't really dug up a decent third character yet. Gets another Tella here, and that's not going to really do a whole lot of good. In all likelihood, I do just remember back to a race I saw a few nights ago where 3 Tellas carried the day at the end. We'll see, I guess, if we end up with a better white mage option, but yeah, Revenant definitely doing much more of like a traditional start, shall we say here, and Rumblefish really just kind of looking to attack the seed, which, depending on how things fall again, that could be a really, really good play.
The people who are really disappointed in the characters we've seen so far are the Razor Industries, because there are beards all over the place. And Dr. Luge is the boss in the Mist Cave. Revenant's going to go check off that objective. There's not really much of a threat in this spot for any boss. Luge should be a pushover.
Doesn't even get a word in edgewise for once. That's pretty, don't see that very often, so good job for Revenant there. Maybe gonna get a chance to open another of these like really high quality chests as well. Meanwhile, Rumblefish has finished the Fabul defense, and let's see what he gets here. That was good. Okay, required really pan good for Rumblefish. So meanwhile, Revenant shows you what it looks like when you try to exit out of Mist Cave, which always throws me off a little bit.
I remember the first time that happened to me, I thought my computer was broken. And Revenant going to continue to loot here, going into Mist Village. And then Blaze Rumblefish clearly wants to be aggressive. Do you expect him to stay this course now, or do you think he'll kind of double back and check out some things and try and get his party equipped a little better?
I mean, I think he's at the point now where he probably needs to stop and at least do some character checks. But I would say he hasn't really found anything that's going to allow him to capitalize too much on this early aggression. It's nice to have that pan, but unless you get like the magma key plus the pan, it's probably not going to translate into too much of a big advantage here. That being said, Revenant is being extremely thorough, like very, very thorough in this early game. And you do have to wonder at a certain point if Rumblefish's aggression is going to kind of pay off just based on the fact that Revenant is really kind of preparing. He's preparing to, he's always preparing. And meanwhile, Rumblefish is like, just go. And yeah, we'll see here.
Rumblefish, I believe, has ordeals in his sight at some point because he used the Soma drop on Tella. So needs to get that Meteo in order to get the swag. Revenant checked the character in Kaipo, and I believe that was Porum.
Yeah, and there's a confirmation of a Porum there. So yeah, Revenant just going full bore here. Already going to try Baron in. I can't say. I mean, he's going to probably have to get a little bit lucky to get through this spot. He might need to find a boss that aligns well with what he can do with Sid and Tella, which is not out of the realm of possibility. But for example, and you know, the other option that Rumblefish had at this point was Ordeals. If you choose to do Ordeals at this point and you still want to play aggressive, you do still pick up a guaranteed character along the way. So, oh, hi, Golbez.
Ha.
So this is basically free though. So there's that. Rumblefish does get a little bit lucky here with the Golbez because this spot has no magic power. So with Tella and Sid's hit points, those first couple spells aren't going to be enough to knock them out, and he should just be able to slog through this Golbez fight.
And the fact that he only has 2 characters is perfectly fine because only 2 characters are left alive after Shadow is done anyway.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a speed up for sure.
Thanks to Demarine 2 for the raid. We have just gotten started here on this Magma Root seed between Rumblefish82 and Revenant. Rumblefish82 has already completed Antlion Cave and Fabul and is now with Baron in, while Revenant has done more of an early looting fest and shopping fest. So really a contrast of styles, and we'll see if that continues.
Revenant did just find a cane to wield that defense sword. So that could be the kind of thing that allows him to clear these spots a little bit faster. But again, that being said, I mean, Rumblefish is about to finish his 3rd key item check already, and that is not insignificant at less than 11 minutes into the race. So
yeah, this is blazing from Rumblefish. I've been really impressed by the lack of fear shown by him going into these key item checks.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it for sure. He is definitely fearless going into some of these spots. With potentially a party like Rumblefish doesn't have anything amazing that's like driving him to do this. This is purely like force of will that is making him play this aggressively. And hasn't gotten bit yet, but you know that potentially could happen. He's also forgoing some power like we were talking about. Revenant has assembled a better team for sure. He's going to have Kane rocking a back row glitched Kane with a defense sword for all of his fights coming up here. So, but maybe Rumblefish knew that Asuka wanted a jet seed this morning and is playing accordingly. Oh my goodness, there's another Go Mode item and a white mage.
So a lot of what we need over here on the overworld. This is no way underground yet.
Yeah, we could be... we know either... I don't think either of our runners has checked Waterfall yet, so... there could still be a Threemus lurking out there, but it's very likely that our underground access is over at Mount Ordeals, which is, I'm sure, where Rumblefish is heading next. But beyond that, we are basically 2 items away from Go Mode. We need either the Legend Sword or the Luca Key, and then we need either the Pass or the Darkness Crystal. So the way things are falling into place, especially since we're already holding onto that pan, this could be a very, very quick seed.
The only thing slowing Rumblefish down so far is Rosa's mom getting in his way. So, but he gets through that, which has been more difficult than any of the boss checks so far. And Revenant has his Twin Heart, which could also contain underground progression.
That's a good point. Yeah, I did not realize that our underground access could actually be at Twin Heart. So good call there, Sheep. Rumblefish actually going... Oh, he might just be shopping in Toroya here, but if he chooses to do this Twin Harp check next, that's an interesting choice as well. He's actually... Okay. Speaking of interesting choices, he is going to go loot the 4 spots in the back of Toroya here.
Meanwhile, Revenant finds a Quake Kid on the top of Mount Hobbs and is going to fight the French vanilla Karate Man here.
So assuming he can keep everybody alive here, this is going to be a really nice boost to his levels, because this is the second highest individual experience spot in the standard sort of checks that we start the game with. That being said, there's absolutely nothing, there's no progression here. Like, you're getting Palom for this, which is not insignificant, but at a certain point, Rumblefish's aggression is definitely going to carry the day if Revenant starts doing a lot of the same checks that Rumblefish is doing. And so what we're seeing is potentially Rumblefish just getting a little bit more time under his belt here as far as this lead goes.
Revenant, despite having Bill and Ted character names, I don't think has the ability to travel through time.
Not that I'm aware of, but we'll see. Yeah, that is a fantastic naming scheme by Revenant, by the way. I think we were both commenting on that before we went live, so we love it.
And Rumblefish is checking that harp and still putting the pedal down. What's not to jinx it or anything, Blaze, but what do you see here that could potentially trip up Rumblefish at this spot?
I mean, I think from yesterday, you definitely can think of a boss that would be really problematic to see here.
I certainly can, yeah. Especially before you visited Ordeals.
This party, like, I think the thing that needs to be said here, this party is just that Rumblefish is going through with is just very vastly inferior to the party that Revenant has assembled. It might not matter. It might be a free boss or it might be something, but there are plenty of things in this spot that could give Rumblefish trouble. The other thing that could happen that I think would really be detrimental to Rumblefish at this point is getting a hook. I think a hook route for Rumblefish at this point would be very, very challenging. I think if Revenant found the hook, they are in a position where they would be able to handle that just so much better right now.
Revenant now taking on the Babool defense, about to pound this Pale Dim.
Yeah, and that's nice that Revenant didn't put this check off for too long, since we know that it is going to be a go mode item. Plus, there's something about the way that those Sheila checks work. As I know we're getting ready for music here, so I'm just going to be quiet right after this comment. But Like the pan at Fabul is always a little bit problematic because if you're holding out hope that the pan is to get the pan before you do Fabul, it's obviously not going to work out.
Play us a tune, Bard.
Apparently, it is a Bahamut fountain. It is a dragon fountain here instead of a fairy fountain for Rumblefish. And again, just have to point out, not punished for this aggressive play. This is a very free boss for him.
Certainly, you get a couple Star Veils to start in your starter kit, and it utilizes them right now. Tella drops, and it's not even a big deal. And Rumblefish is through.
And there's an hourglass, which means that our progression is either at Ordeals or a Hiding Beamist. So definitely not what Rumblefish wanted to see there. I do like that aggressive play again, though. Did work out okay, but at some point, we'll see Revenant maybe fading Twin Harp, which is fairly common these days, especially if he does go to Ordeals first, which would not surprise me at this point. Could be that thing to kind of get our runners a little bit more even here, I would say.
Yeah, Revenant looks like he's on his way to Ordeals, stopping at Silvera on the way. Finds a Mute Knife, which could be useful against Mad Ogres on the hook route.
Yeah, for sure. Also grabbing some Mute Bells, which are a pretty good utility item. Revenant just very much very ready to go. And Rumblefish had already found Star Veils, so that's nice. He just kind of quickly reloads on Star Veils here in the Troya shop before heading out. As a runner, I will say myself that it is incredibly difficult a lot of times to keep up with items in shops after you've been there. So
Yeah.
Just a quick shout out for Rumblefish for remembering where the Star Veils are.
I actually write down important items by hand, so if you ever see me run and I'm, it looks like I'm lost in thought, that's what I'm doing, so I can remember.
I've definitely done that too. Oh, there's an edge. Okay.
Wow.
So I actually think this benefits Rumblefish a little bit more than Revenant, just kind of equalizing the power level of the two teams a little bit here, but I'm sure both of our runners are going to be very, very happy to see that edge.
And in fact, Revenant can slap that Mute Knife right on edge, and that'll do very nicely for him.
Yeah, Mute Knife is a very underrated weapon in my opinion, and the fact that you can throw it on edge as like a second offhand weapon and still get all of that goodness is fantastic. Oh hey, and now we're suddenly in stereo demist mode. Okay.
So Mount Ordeals has bonus round, so one way or another Mount Ordeals is going to contain our way underground.
Absolutely. Revenant also stocked up on some vampires here. I suspect Revenant's fight is going to go a lot faster than Rumblefish's here, so this is going to be pretty indicative. It's going to be pretty telling, I would say, just how further along Revenant's party is than Rumblefish's at this point.
Yeah, you can see the difference in damage output, and Revenant gets through.
Yeah, no mist phase. Rumblefish gonna have to deal with at least one mist phase here.
And the back attack spot has Leviathan. Annoying, but with this party should be doable.
Yeah, the only tricky thing about this is those Ice 2s from Leviathan are gonna hurt, so I don't imagine Revenant is gonna have too much trouble with this, or Rumblefish for that matter, but it would not surprise me to see those Ice 2s knock out a couple of characters here.
Which isn't the worst thing in the world, because before the next fight you get a free heal, but it does lose you a little bit of experience if one of your characters is down at the end.
Yeah, and if you're going to lose a character, I would say, oh man, he just hates Palom right now. That is not what you want to see. If there is one character you want to get XP at this point, it is Palom, and I think he's pretty much given up hope that Palom's going to get any XP from this fight, so... Oh no, he did pick him back up. Very nicely done. This should do it. I saw the first life potion. I did not see the second one come out, so very nicely done by Revenant there. Again, that's going to be a much faster fight. I actually think Rumblefish might have some trouble with this fight if the wrong characters go down here.
Yeah, he has two characters down now. You know what happens to fish when it's in the freezer too long.
Gets a little bit of that Frostburn. Sid didn't take too much damage from that Ice 2 and is doing a nice job. Looks like Rumblefish maybe popped a Bacchus wine here? Or maybe Porum already has Berserk from the Twin Harp fight?
Just a glass helm on top of Ordeals. So, Rydia's mom has got our way underground. Or a way to get there.
Yeah, that's true, because it could still be either the Earth Crystal or the Baron Key as well. But yeah, we see. And Revenant's very, very clutch here, getting that Palom up. The Palom does have Virus already, and is just... You can already tell like the difference, how much faster these fights are going for Revenant as opposed to Rumblefish. So this could be where that early investment pays off. We'll see.
Do you think Revenant's glass helm was named after Hugh Glass? Anyone? Movie reference? So Revenant, with its full party, gonna start the trek back down Mount Ordeals, and Revenant's in pretty good shape now. Has Baronin check left to do, also Twin Harp check, so might not know, like we do, that Rydia's mom holds progression, but he's going to find that out soon.
Yeah, I would suspect Revenant's going to go get his underground access right now, which is going to be good for him. Anything that keeps him from that Twin Harp longer is probably a good thing for Revenant at this point. I suspect he'll probably do Baronin regardless, unless it's like Magma Key. But if it's Magma Key, I don't think. I mean, it's hard to say. We've been seeing Revenant be awfully thorough so far, but it would not surprise me if it is Magma Key here that Revenant would just basically fade Twin Harp for quite a while. Oh, or we're going to go do Baronin first. I mean, this party is really good, so I guess I'm not surprised. Just go ahead and knock it out. But we know, based on what Rumblefish has done, that underground access is at Sheila. Or, I'm sorry, not Sheila, at Rydia's mom.
Rydia's mom is nice in giving us a way underground. The only thing my mom gave me was a shovel. Rumblefish, meanwhile, making a beeline right to Mist, gonna do that check.
I would say this is a pretty important moment in the race. I think if it's the hook, Revenant has a huge advantage here. I think if it is the Magma Key, I would still give Rumblefish the edge with that early aggression.
Drum roll, please. It's the magma key.
All right.
Not required.
Well, now I'm just kind of hoping that Revenant doesn't forget to go do that, because could have momentarily forgotten about the doing that demist fight.
Nobody ever forgets about demist and forgets to check. That's just crazy.
No, I mean that definitely didn't happen recently. It happens all the time. It's okay. Now, one thing that is going to be a little bit faster for Rumblefish was this Golbez fight. So I do think that we are going to see this take quite a bit longer for Revenant. Also because Revenant has a much faster anchor, and just like it's taking forever for this cutscene to pop up.
Yes, the vanilla karate spot is one of the slowest boss spots in the game, if I'm not mistaken, and Golbez is already slow, and he's just talking slowly and summoning slowly, and Revenant might go make himself a sandwich here.
Yeah, I think Revenant decided to throw up a couple Star Veils. May have been better served by throwing off a couple of kamikazes before this fight got going. Gambit in chat commenting that we only need one key item for Go mode at this point. That's half true. We still need Zeromus access as well. So Rumblefish is about to go pick up 4 free key item checks. If I was to guess, that's going to be the first order of business for Rumblefish. Out of those 4, he will be in Go mode if he gets either the Legend Sword or the Luca key, and then either the Pass or the Darkness Crystal.
And in fact, he's going straight for the sealed cave. Or, I'm sorry, the Self Cave. Now, do you think, to continue with the aggression, do you think Rumblefish makes a play for Dwarf Castle if Yang isn't holding anything here? Or do you think he completes that chain and returns the pan?
I mean, it's hard to say at this point. I would say Rumblefish has been very, very aggressive, and I don't know at this point what form that takes on. I'm pretty sure if it was me, I would at least want to finish the pan first and see what I got there. Just a white shirt, by the way, from the Sylphs. But yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know.
And it looks like he's going back above ground. Gonna go back to Fabool and see what Sheila's got. See if she's got the goods today.
I think part of the reason why this is so important for Rumblefish right now to have gotten that magma key is we're going to see our runners doing basically the same things, if I was to guess, for probably the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. Because as soon as you get underground, you're immediately going to want to check your freebies. Then you're probably going to want to do Dwarf Castle. So this next sort of string of checks is going to be the same. And the fact that Rumblefish has opened up a little bit of a lead here, 3-4 minute lead, he can probably carry that lead for the next few minutes. Does get the pass, so now we have everything except our final Go mode item. So this is big. We are now 1 item away from Go mode.
I did miss the first Sheila item.
It was an edge sword. I couldn't tell if it was a Masamune or a Murasame. I believe that's what it was, though. Chat saying it was the better one.
I always have to double check to make sure which one is better. I think it's alphabetical. The better one comes first in the alphabet.
Yeah, MA is better. So, and yeah, Rumblefish doing what you said and going for Dwarf Castle here. I do think this is an interesting choice because you do still have that free key item in the Fey March, but at the same time, this party should be, with that edge now, capable of handling a boss, although it's hard to say. There's, again, Rumblefish hasn't run into too much trouble on the boss front at this point. There's some pretty nasty bosses out there, even though you have an edge with a Masamune. Does not have the depth to the party that Revenant does, I would say.
Yeah, Rumblefish is tied on objectives now with Revenant since he completed the 4th one, and really is now either the Luca Key or the Legend Sword away from being Go mode.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that is one little minor detail. Rumblefish has not done that that boss spot in the Mist Cave yet, which we know was Dr. Luge, so not totally, not necessarily a super quick fight. It's going to be a little bit longer. So I don't think, I was just noticing Revenant checking armor shops. I don't think either of our runners has found a cursed ring yet.
But remember, there is a Cecil hiding out in the Watery Pass, so an anchor could be available. A level 1 Cecil could be all right as an anchor.
Rumblefish does not know that Cecil is there. Just pointing that out. Although I imagine he would be able to find it pretty quickly. Rumblefish's lack of mute knives could also come into play here as well with this Asura fight. That is a big difference here for sure.
Yeah, this spot can get a little punchy.
Yeah, and there we see. I don't suspect that Rumblefish is going to have too much trouble finishing the fight. At least because, okay, there was the Berserk. This could actually get a little bit dicey now. Because the thing about Asura does not attack until you attack her. So if you need to, you can just kind of set up your whole team beforehand and then get going. But yeah, that is not the Rumblefish has not done anything defensively today. So why start now?
The best defense is a good offense.
I do see Tella here only taking 1 damage because I'm presuming from a rune ring and maybe some other stuff. So that's nice at least. But he's not gonna be beating Asura to death. So
Asura certainly knows where the threat is. Targeting edge with precision here.
Yeah, as Gambit017 pointing out in chat, it's just the board AI doing board AI things.
Gambit also pointing out that Tella probably has that glass hat on.
Oh, that would do it too, yep.
Revenant, meanwhile, has turned in his pan, or bonked Yang on the head with the pan, and now is turning it back into Sheila. Will get his pass and his second objective done. And suddenly, Revenant is only 1 key item away from Go mode as well.
Yep, so we'll see. I think, again, Rumblefish probably has maybe like a 4 or 5 minute lead at this point, all things being equal. So what Revenant does next is going to be pretty important for how this plays out. But even if he goes to Dwarf Castle, which is where Rumblefish is now, I've got to think he is going to have an easier time with this Asura fight.
Certainly, his party is fuller. He has that mute knife. It would be much faster to slice through Asura, who is a mage, and mute knives do, what, 4 times damage to mage enemies?
Oh yeah, yep. Probably 2 swings for Revenant will get him through that Asura fight. Rumblefish picking up a Yang and finds the D-Lunars. I have to say, this is actually a pretty scary fight for Rumblefish right here. He needs to get some heals up, or he is going to lose to that fire attack.
Revenant validates his seed. The job dwarf is a word processing specialist. But yeah, these D-Lunars, not really any place you can find D-Lunars that makes them pushovers, but here they're a little scary.
Yeah, we see him searching his inventory for something that might be able to finish these off. It's gonna be close. He might, if he gets another, he needs 2 flames. I did see a Stardust in his inventory as well. That might be enough to do it too. This is gonna be pretty key right here. Oh, neither of them went down.
Ooh. Yeah, each of those D-Lunars has about 1,500 HP in this spot. I imagine they're in double digits, but still needs 1 more.
This should do it now. Oh, clutch for Rumblefish. I was very worried about that fight for him, especially after going through that long Asura fight. That would have been a huge setback if he'd gone down there. Revenant found Sirens, by the way, in Tamra, in addition to a word processing specialist. So
I was just about to say that. Yeah, so Revenant's grind is taken care of, and we'll see. So far, the moon is not necessary, but we'll see if that moon is really haunted.
Well, and we're 1 item away here, so this is going to be a pretty important moment again. If Rumblefish finds a go mode item here, then he's in really good shape. Revenant could come down here into the Fey March and find it in the free chest, and that would be also be pretty fantastic. Rumblefish. Okay, you can warp after this cutscene.
Yes.
Don't forget. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I think you can still warp until... Okay. Yeah, he's getting his MP back. He didn't have the MP to warp. Okay. There we go. We're fine now. It's
Wow.
fine. It's fine, everyone.
Well, I learned something today.
It's just one of those things you don't see very often. Revenant finding the hook in the Fey March, so a little bit of a whiff there, potentially. And Revenant gets, or Rumblefish gets a spoon, and what was the first item?
Bahamut Summon.
That's right. Yeah, so both of our runners with a swing and a miss here on their sort of second level check after that pan, so...
Yeah, about all the good that the hook would do at this point. Maybe if you wanted to take a swing at whatever that pink tail is, or check the Evelyn shop. But otherwise, no good reason for it. And that is a blue robe and some kind of guards. So I don't think we've seen Water Hag yet, but we also haven't seen the Alt Gauntlet, and that would be spicy.
I mean, we know that there's those are potentially good fights. Revenant did just get hourglasses as well, so he could definitely take out the guards. This is going to be a crucial couple minutes, I think, for both of our runners. Another thing I've been noticing, looks like Revenant does not want anything to do with this at this point.
Yeah, it looks like Revenant is continuing the thorough looting and just generally a little more cautious, but deliberate play that he's been showing.
Yeah, I really like the way that Revenant has played this seed so far. I actually really like how Rumblefish has played too. It just he hasn't really broken it open yet. But I have a lot of respect for how he's gone through this seed and has clutched out some really big fights, which is really nice, and is going to be able to grind up some here too and make his life a little bit easier. The only thing I'm kind of watching for Revenant as this seed goes on now, because he has been playing fairly conservative, he's been playing fairly thorough. I think at a certain point you have to realize that you've got really good loot, and like we just saw him full loot the Fey March. to the point where, oh, I guess he has exit. Oh no, he doesn't have exit yet. Because he ditched Tella for Porum, which I didn't realize, and that is a very interesting decision as well. But yeah, we Revenant just continues to loot, has not stopped there, and he's already got a defense sword on his cane. He's already got a Masamune on his edge. I think that could be something that ends up being relevant if this he does end up being kind of quick here.
And just the contrast in styles is so different. If you're either of these runners, do you feel behind? I don't think I do.
I don't think either of them feels behind too. I think Rumblefish probably. It's hard to say. Like I've been both of these runners before. There are some formats where it's like you really, or even just individual races that you play where you want to play for whatever reason more fast and loose, and there's other times you want to be more thorough. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but you are absolutely right. Like seeing this contrast in styles side by side like this has been honestly really illuminating, and I would say for anybody who is trying to maybe figure out different ways to play, or maybe if you're more of an aggressive runner and you're watching Revenant be more thorough, or if you're more of like a really conservative loot everything, check everything style runner like Revenant has been in this race, and you're watching Rumblefish going, oh my gosh, like he is doing okay with all of this. You can learn something from that as well. So it's very interesting to see here.
Revenant, I think, just popped one Siren, maybe two, but heading back down into the Fey Margin is going to take on one or more of those Fey March bosses.
Yeah, this is an interesting play from Revenant. I mean, the knowledge that there's potentially 2 free bosses here in the Fey March is really useful, I would say. We know that this is a good play, but I will say it's not the kind of play I would expect from somebody who has been playing as thoroughly as he has here. But hey, he got some really good information, and he's going to use it to his advantage here.
And he's got hourglasses, he's got mute belts, these Baron guards will be taken care of.
He also has just enough hourglasses to potentially do the whole alt gauntlet if he really wants to.
That would be something to see. Rumblefish is now heading into the Fey March as well. I did not see where he stopped his grind, but he did a little bit longer grind than Revenant did.
Yeah, we've got a pretty different party compositions here, and having the Sirens, it shouldn't matter. Like for example, Revenant decided to ditch Tella. With the Sirens freely available and a big enough bankroll, that shouldn't really matter too much. So Revenant's party definitely has more power, and it'll be interesting to see if that comes into play at some point here as well. That Palom in particular. Oh boy.
Wow, and that is go mode for Revenant.
So you were just asking how our runners felt, and I will tell you, probably it doesn't really matter who you are. If you had a magma key seed and everything was behind the pan, a really early pan gave us our pass, and then the Luca key was from basically a free boss in the Fey March, you're probably feeling a little bit behind, potentially behind. It's not a great feeling. At the same point, you do have go mode 46 minutes into the seed, so that is a good feeling. I don't know for sure, but yeah, like I would be really curious to ask Revenant like kind of how he feels right now. He's actually going back to try to do this other boss. Let's see, he's got 7 key items. Okay. Okay, reset.
And there is the reset. Yeah, just to gain potentially one key item, you can get experience much more efficiently from the sirens, which we know are freely available. So, yeah, Revenant makes the smart call there.
Yeah, I mean, but the difference, I would say, and you know, it's entirely possible, maybe just kind of misreading a tracker or something. Getting from 7 to 10 is really hard to do. Getting from 8 to 10 potentially a lot easier because you know you're going to get your crystal momentarily. But I think you got to go at this point. You just got to get ready for the Zeromus fight. 10 key items is just not really going to be an option without a pretty significant investment of time and needing to get a little bit lucky here. So.
Rumblefish takes on the guards and uses Stone with Tella to dispatch them instantly, so Rumblefish made up a little bit of time there. Rumblefish is in go mode, but still hasn't done the Mist Cave, which is going to delay him just a little bit.
Yeah. If this was a situation where that Mist Cave was keeping him from 10 key items, I would say that might be a little bit more relevant. But yeah, Rumblefish knows he's in go mode now. I think it's anybody's race at this point. I think Revenant has the better party. I think that Rumblefish has been playing the seed extremely well, playing a little bit tighter, so that could also, you know, come into play here. Might be feeling a little bit bolder in terms of maybe taking the Zeromus fight a little early. We'll see. This is going to be really close. Our runners are getting go mode just really a couple minutes apart here, so.
While I have the chance, since we might not be doing this for much longer, I'd like to thank our restreamer FF4FE and our tracker Jasmine for both doing excellent work behind the scenes, keeping us honest.
Yeah, Jasmine in particular, I want to give a quick shout out to. First time tracking today, been doing a fantastic job, and also kind of stepped in on late notice. So big props to Jasmine89 for doing all that for us today. Revenant still looking for key items. It's an interesting decision point. We know he's not going to get to 10 here, but you know, maybe hoping that he can somehow get to 10, which would speed up his grind. But Rumblefish is just full grind right now, and we'll see if he's able to pull ahead a little bit here.
Well, Revenant does have 8, and we'll get the spoon from this, and we'll get to 9. So he could be thinking maybe a run-up tower or something like that to get to 10. It's dicey with where we know where Rumblefish is.
Yeah, it's not. I have to say, and this is not a criticism of Revenant at all, but this is not a good. Yeah, okay, if you were going to get 2 key items here from Dwarf Castle, which, to be fair, we know he's not going to, it might end up equalizing, but I don't see a lot of upside to doing these key item checks here. I think you just really need to grind and go. Rumblefish is going to just get his grind done here, and he is playing this very, very efficiently, so...
What is the fastest fish? Because the new fastest fish might be Rumblefish.
That is a good question. I don't know if we have an answer for that. Yeah, I think we can already both agree too. The real winner of this race is going to be Asuka rolling a jet seed and going to hopefully get maximum nap time.
Yeah, Asuka has a reputation to uphold, but not playing to her reputation today.
Yeah, for those who don't know, myself and Asuka have been volunteering all weekend in addition to our free enterprise restream team duties, we're also both volunteering and I believe running. I don't know if Asuka has a run in the marathon this weekend, but we've been volunteering for Midwest Speedfest. There is a Midwest Speedfest free enterprise race tomorrow morning that you should definitely check out, and it is not going to conflict with anything in the highway to the Threemus zone. There's actually two. There's another one later on in the Powerhouse Marathon, I believe, but a couple of great charity runs tomorrow that you can come check out. We'll plug those with the events later, and I'm gonna quickly double check who is doing what. If you want me to read some donations for you, I'll be doing that at Midwest Speedfest tomorrow morning as well.
And who wouldn't want to hear the dulcet tones of Moonblaze Wolf reading your donations? You can make him say whatever you want to.
It's true. I know we have some really great incentives for that too. So I know there is a harp incentive, a Z-Sprite incentive, and I believe I saw for the Midwest Speedfest run, there is an incentive where they're going to kind of do, it's a little bit of a modified League flag set. I think there's some dark matter involved. But you can also make the runners have to do all 4 objectives as opposed to just 3 out of 4. So, more free enterprise. Who wouldn't want that? So I would definitely recommend once those donation incentives are open. I know for Midwest Speedfest anyway, they're not open yet. But once they are, we will be sharing that on the FE Discord, and you can come make those donations. Midwest Speedfest is benefiting Able Gamers, so that's a fantastic charity. And I would definitely recommend, if you can do so, drop a quick donation in there for either your favorite Twin Harp song or Zeroma Sprite, or just to maximize the pain and suffering of the runners. I mean, more free enterprise.
Now both runners are in full egg scrambling mode. And speaking of more free enterprise, while we have a minute, there are 4 more races coming up today on the free enterprise family of networks.
You should go through those, Sheep, while I'm looking up the marathon details.
Certainly. So at 3 p.m. Eastern, Leggy's Starscream will be facing off against Golden Hades, and that'll be on Free Enterprise. Conkers faces off against Borin Soren, and that's at 4 Eastern on Randomania. Poydrak against Choco Suro, which should be a cracker, as Poydrak would say, on RPG Limit Break. That's at 6 Eastern. And at 8 Eastern, Prof. Corey versus Ike Klopper, and that's on the Free Enterprise channel. All 4 of those should be terrific races. The stakes, as we've mentioned, they're super high. It's so important to get off to a 1-0 start in both the Magma routes and the Hook routes. So it's going to be a whole lot of Free Enterprise fun today.
Yeah, those are some great races. I know I circled that Poydrak Chokasura race is one that I circled when the pairings came out like immediately. That one is going to be fantastic, but I'm sure a lot of the other ones are going to be really good as well. So for the Midwest Speedfest run tomorrow morning, that is going to be Gambit 017 against Bahamut X. Smapedy and Rex Raoul are going to be on the mics. And for the Powerhouse run, I believe that is Ground Flyer versus Pixel Tamer. And I do not know who the commentary team is going to be for that. But as Scala in chat is pointing out, Powerhouse is raising money for Extra Life, which is also just a fantastic charity. We also are going to have a run review, I believe, tomorrow for a match that I know I watched when it was live because one of the, well, actually both runners are good friends, but it was one of our round robin matches between PK4787 and Bursic Badger. And that was the deciding match in that particular group. And I believe PK won by about a minute. So they will be doing a runner recap of that tomorrow on the Free Enterprise channel. I believe the time was 2:30 p.m. Eastern, but I could be wrong on that.
No, you're correct. It's 2:30 p.m. Eastern for that runner review, and it's always fun to get runners' perspectives throughout the run. It's Blaze, you're really good at it. I remember watching a video of you explaining how you beat everyone in a single seed by an hour. So it's always fun to kind of get the runners' perspectives and see how they're feeling during the race.
I know what race you're talking about. I think that's honestly still one of my favorite races. That was from last year's league, which we did the big flight style qualifiers for, which was crazy. You would have to play against 40 or 50 people for a spot in the league, and we're doing a much more kind of tiered approach this time around, which I think at least for those of you who are not fans of large group races, you definitely get a lot more free enterprise. You get a lot of these really exciting one-on-one matchups. Lots of good stuff.
Well, to reiterate what the stakes are for these runners, so if you go 3-0 in the Magma route, you get to go into a playoff race that will have either 4 or 5 runners. The top 3 get to move on to the table stage and join the likes of Blaze. The last place finishers in that get to race in another race against everyone who finishes 2-1 in the Magma route. That's going to be about 14, 15 opponents. The top 3 from there also move on to the table. So the Magma route has some ways forward, but there are a lot of talented runners in the Magma route, and 2 losses get you sent home.
Yeah, I think anybody would tell you that getting off on the right foot this first week is really important. It's not essential. We could see both of these runners, regardless of winning or losing, make it to the table, but it's going to be a much easier path, as you were saying, if you get that first win under your belt. So I feel like Revenant has kind of closed this gap a little bit. He's a few levels behind, but not too bad. Plus, I think, and I don't know what Rumblefish's ultimate plan is here. He's letting that Tella get all this experience. And I don't think there's a curse ring for either of our runners as well. So that is something, again, to keep in mind. I don't know if Rumblefish is planning to maybe go pick up a different character for the Threemus fight here, or what the end result is here. Looks like he's going, but we'll see. I don't think it's we'll see. Maybe this is just to go get that last objective done.
Yeah, he's going for that Mist Cave. Did not forget about needing the objective, and Rumblefish will take care of Dr. Luggage and get his crystal.
I think one thing to also keep in mind for people who are watching this race and just sort of thinking about maybe what they would do in a situation like this, another thing that's really important is when you have a pretty jetty seed like this, it's kind of counterintuitive, but you actually need to make sure that your first Threemus fight goes really well. You don't want to have a wipe to Threemus. So it always creates this really interesting tension of okay, this is a jet seed. I gotta go. But also I need to not wipe. So it'll be, I'm curious to see. It looks like Rumblefish is, hopefully he's going to go just try to find an anchor, I think, from the look of things here.
Yeah, stopping by Mysidia, which has 2 characters, he'll be able to pick and choose if one of them would be a suitable anchor.
Yeah, and I do like Revenant's plan of just keeping that Sid down, keeping their agility nice and low while you power up the rest of the party here. I don't remember. Yeah, this is Kane and Sid, so I'm not sure. Yeah, Rumblefish is no, thank you. Probably going to be pretty happy to find that level 1 Cecil if he does check Watery Pass, if I was to guess. And question in chat from Jeffy78. What's the difference between the new route groups? One is one winners and one losers bracket. So we are currently watching a we are currently watching a Magma route race. And these are runners that went 2-1 in their original 3 round robin matches. We could say this is kind of like the winner's bracket. It's not exactly that way, but we do have these are runners who did a little bit better in that original round robin. And like Sheep was saying a little bit ago, there are more tickets to the table in this magma route. You get three in that first play-in for all of the runners who go 3-0 in this next 3 weeks of competition. And then you have another 3 tickets to the table that are going to be everybody who goes 2-1 in these next couple weeks of competition. Whereas in the hook route, that is sort of the group that is all the 0-3 and 1-2 runners from the first round robin. It's the same format. They're playing 3 rounds of Swiss. This is week 1. There is only 1 ticket out of the 3-0 play-in race, and then 1 more ticket to the table in the 2-1 / first play-in race losers group out of the hook route. So the hook route, we're only going to get 2 table runners out of that. The magma route, we're going to get 6.
I hope everybody was taking notes. There will be a test.
There is a flow chart. There is a visual aid up on the Free Enterprise Discord. If you are more of a visual learner, that is totally fine. Looks like Rumblefish has found a base level Tella and is going to go with that. Meanwhile, Revenant is probably going straight to Z here. Yep. All right. Yeah. So.
Yep, going to park outside of Troya, and Rumblefish is going to be right behind him. And I'm seeing some emotes in the chat, Blaze. They have a letter on them. Z?
Z. Yeah, we love to see our Z flags right about now. As our runners, this is going to be a good finish. Yes. Holy cow. But yeah, we randomize a lot of things in this in Free Enterprise. We do not randomize the actual Zeromus fight itself. It is the exact same script you would find in the original vanilla game. But we do randomize one thing, which is the form that Zeromus takes on. So we want to know what Z-Sprite we're going to see today. And Sheep, I know there is a more specific question that we like to ask right about now.
Well, let's both ask it, since both our runners are asking it right now. Whose butt are we going to kick
today? Today.
This morning.
In the current time zone. Yeah, this is why I have not seen a Zeromus fight where the runners have entered the Z fight this close in a while. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Revenant has a better party, but Rumblefish, just a really good veteran player. We'll see what they can do here.
This is absurdly close, and earlier in this tournament, we actually had a tie in one of the races for the first time that I've ever seen. If it comes down to that, we'll see. Little margins are going to make all the difference here, Blaze.
Yeah, one thing I would not be surprised if we see from Rumblefish, I think he might have to take this fight just a little bit more conservatively. We might see him keep Sid as a backup healer here in case Porum goes down. We might also see our runners trying to nerf the big bangs after the first one. And we get more Zelda Link to the Past in our seed today. This is all of our... We had a Twin Harp song from Z3. We have a Zeromus sprite from Z3 here.
Zelda's the boy, right?
No.
I know Zelda's not the boy.
Did Rumblefish not have Silk Webs? Because I saw him throw a Lit Bolt.
Interesting.
That is going to be an interesting thing to see here as the fight goes on. If you are basically counting on all of the big bangs getting nerfed, it could work, but that is you are playing with fire at that point. It looks like Revenant has got a more traditional, shall we say, setup going here.
Yeah, and you can see the difference in how that Big Bang came out, how much slower Z is going on Revenant's side.
Yeah, and Rumblefish is all in. All 3 attackers are berserked here, not holding back with a Sid, so probably going to try to nerf these Big Bangs. Yeah, there's a slow to try to nerf the Big Bang. I'm not sure. Well, we're going to see.
Yeah, both runners have already ditched their spoons at Armismus.
Oh, and that is the one thing that Rumblefish did not want to have happen, the counter new kidding Porum. That could be fatal there.
Porum stays up.
For now, but we got
yeah.
a Big Bang coming out really soon here, and all of Rumblefish's fighters are berserked, which is just I really respect Rumblefish kind of just going for it here. But that is not how you want this fight to go if you're going to go this way.
No, that's a tough spot to be in. That Big Bang was nerfed, but Rumblefish, all he can do is pray at this point.
Yeah, it's just a tough call. You're really kind of like you're all in, to use a poker metaphor there, and respect for going for it. And it might still work out. He does have Yang and Sid, who have lots of hit points. They're definitely going to both survive this next Big Bang. I don't know if he has pushed second phase yet. We're going to find out. That would be probably fatal if a virus came out at this point from Threemus. Meanwhile, Revenant taking a Big Bang here and was able to nerf that as well. So really nicely done there.
Yes, and Revenant's getting out a lot of damage with reflected nukes. So Revenant's putting out damage. We'll see if that's enough to push him over the line.
Rocks for Rumblefish. Where did those come from? He might need to dodge a Big Bang here, though. Or, I'm sorry, a Meteo.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he got it.
He's done it.
Rumblefish. Holy cow, pushing that damage through. I have to admit, I did not think he was doing that much damage, but I guess between the darts and all of that damage coming through from those berserk fighters, Rumblefish makes it through. Appears to have crossed the finish line first. I think Revenant is going to be not far behind here.
Rumblefish was aggressive and clutch this entire race, and that continued into the Z fight. Rumblefish is your winner with a time of 1:09.23. What a race!
That was incredible. Yeah, we're gonna have to get Rumblefish in here for an interview and talk about that Z fight. But let's let Revenant finish up here first, and we'll find out about the interview status here. I have to say, I'm kind of in shock. I did not think Rumblefish had the damage there.
Yeah, his fighters were swinging for 15 to 2,000, but there were 3 of them doing it for a long time, and that was apparently enough.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very curious to watch that back and count the damage just to see how tight that was. He did use a lit bolt early as well to nerf the first Big Bang, and that could have been kind of about the difference. That was incredible. I'm just amazed. And as we see Revenant also finishing up.
Revenant with a very well done race, and coming in second place, 1:10.57 is his final time. He has absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. A very well done race, and it just came up about a minute and a half short.
Yeah, that's just such a good race by both runners, and again, to see the 2 different styles basically from beginning to end, it just goes to show you there's no wrong way to play Free Enterprise, and that was fantastic to watch. It looks like we are going to get Rumblefish in here for an interview momentarily. But then that will be it for this this broadcast. So we're going to get the winner in here in just a moment. We will let you know. While we're waiting on that, I just want to again give a quick shout out to our behind the scene team. We have Asuka424 doing the restream this morning for you. And we have Chazman doing the tracking. Well done, all. This was a great race. I'm so glad we got to be a part of it, Sheep.
Yeah, me too. And certainly give both of those folks a follow, as well as my co-commentator, Moonblaze Wolf, the legend himself. You already know him, but if you're not following him, you certainly should be.
Gosh. You are the adamant to my legend sword, then, Sheep.
An old man can't find me? Yeah, that what can
I'd trade a rat. I would trade a rat tail for you, Sheep.
Oh, thank you.
All right, and it looks like we are joined by our winner in the race, rumblefish82. Rumblefish, GG's. That was a heck of a ride.
Yeah, I had a super clutch finish, and judging by how close Revenant was behind me, and like less like a 90 seconds behind me, if I would have wiped there, that would have been game over. So that was a photo finish, definitely.
Yeah, we'll talk about that Z fight in a bit, but you started with your foot on the gas and never let up. Why did you decide to start so aggressively?
Well, I usually, when you start with Sid and Tella, Sid is a really good opening character because he comes with so many levels. He doesn't have really great armor, but and he can hit okay for some of the early bosses with the wooden hammer. And then you have Tella too, who's a great utility character. So I said, you know what? Let's just go to some of the easier bosses and start taking them out. And then Antlion kind of also has opportunities to grab some treasure to either beef up your character or to sell later on. And I found a lot of really good stuff in Antlion Cave early on. It was really good play. It was good equipment for Sid. And,
yeah, I think. Oh, go ahead.
And so, I mean, that was kind of my motivation for being so aggressive early on.
I mean, really, I felt like it carried you through the entire seed. You were just kind of throwing caution to the wind and just going for it. And it was actually really refreshing to see, especially in this format where we've got all these free characters. We've got good loot all over the place. I think we tend to see our runners ease into the seeds a little bit more, and you just absolutely went for it. Was that kind of, you kind of talked about the early character selection there. How did the early game did end up being fairly long for you, although it did result in a magma key, but like, was there a point as you're playing, and I'm sure you know in your head, like, I'm playing really aggressive right now, was there a point where you're just like, oh man, this is great, or this isn't gonna work?
I had both of those moments, actually, because like when I was going through like Antlion and then Fable, and then I even got Baron Inn done relatively early. I was like, all right, this is going really well. I'm doing a lot of really good checks, really checking them off really early on, and not getting a lot of characters. And then I went to Twin Heart. Then I went to the Cave Magnus. Did that play, which is it's a gamble because it takes up a lot of seconds to go to Cave Magnus and check that out, and it ended up being an hourglass as the reward. I was like, I was like, the right play was going to Monardeals, and I held off on that. So I was like, okay. Then when I got into the Underworld, it's like a lot of people do the Fey March as an early first check. There's the free item there, but I did not do that. I went to because I had the pan already, so I thought, well, let's do that. Go to Sylph Cave first and wake up Yang. And then, I got some levels, and I got Warp, and I can do the 2 items in Dwarf Castle. And Dwarf Castle took up a lot of time for me. I had some bad luck with the Asura fight, in case you didn't see. Like, she kept taking down Edge, who was my main fighter in that fight. And I was like, I was like, this is taking up some time. Then when I found out the Luca key for one of the objectives was behind basically a free fight in Fey March, I was like, oh, this has been the right place. I should have went here first and Underworld, as many players do, go to Fey March first. So I was like, I bet you I'm behind, and I had a feeling that Revenant wasn't too far behind me once I made that discovery.
Yeah,
so
I mean, go ahead, Sheep.
I was going to I was going to move on from there to the Z fight itself because the rocks kind of took us by surprise. Did you realize how much damage you were putting out?
No, it took me by surprise too because you saw what happened. The Porum ended up getting hit by one of the nukes, unfortunately, when I was using to nerf the Big Bangs. And as a result, then she was taken out by the Big Bang itself. And I was like, okay, well, this is not good, but I probably will get a black hole that will de-zerk 3 of the characters I had zerked up. And then I can, bring her back up again and keep going. Then all of a sudden, that didn't. Zermos just let loose with another Big Bang, and luckily, Edge got by with like 80 hit points, so he kept going. And then the Meteo happened, and then I had 2 characters who were definitely within Meteo, who could have been wiped by the next Meteo. And luckily, they just did enough hits and enough damage to take him out in his Meteo phase. So once Porn went down, I was panicking. I was concerned a little bit, but I thought I could get her back up again. Then all of a sudden we had this Meteo. Then the Meteo phase started happening earlier than I thought. I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if I'm going to survive this. So. Yeah, I was clutch right until the end.
The full range of Z fight emotions.
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously, like, we thought you might reset when that Porum went down. Did it cross your mind? I'm just kind of curious because I know you've played this game probably even more than I have and a lot of other veteran players. Like, your odds of success at that point are really, really low.
Well, I thought they were actually better than really, really low because I just thought there was a black hole would come along and save me, that would de-zerk some of my characters and then I can get formed back up again and go. So I didn't think about resetting at that point. I'm glad I didn't. And
yeah, we are too.
And but when I got to the like the Meteo phase, I mean, that was like when I was like, I actually pretty doomed myself. Like, I did not think that Yang and Sid with an Earth Hammer, no less, were going to do enough damage to get through that entire 10,000 hit points. But they managed.
Yeah, it was really great watching you get across the finish line. We did not want Zeromus to combo platter Big Bang Meteo you out of that fight after all of that work that you put in, and it was just very poetic and very fitting that after such a aggressive style that you played that entire race through, that you were able to pull that fight out in a really similar manner. So GG's again. How does it feel to be 1-0, and what are you thinking right now?
Well, it feels great to be 1-0. I mean, this is the Magma. Oh, okay. This is the. Well, anyway, the group that I'm in is either Magma Hook. I can't remember which one I'm in. But the point is that this is like the 2-1 players, and there's some really awesome players in this league. I know Revenant is a really awesome player, and so it feels good to be able to get that win and to carry it with me to the next match.
And you get your own Guinness Book of World Records entry as the fastest fish.
That will be something I will look forward to looking up later on.
All right. Well, no, this was great. Thanks for coming in for an interview with us. Sheep, did you have anything else you wanted to ask about before we cut Rumblefish loose?
No, Rumblefish, best of luck the rest of the way, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.
All right, and that's going to do it for us. We are going to go ahead and raid Jenica Strife, doing some group flags practice, I believe. Jenica is 1-0 on the hook route, I believe, so won her first match this week, and we'll be going for win number 2 next week in the next round of the Swiss. This is the last day of the first week of the Swiss. We got a lot more great matches coming up today. And then tomorrow, again, we have a couple of marathon showcases at Powerhouse and Midwest Speedfest for you, as well as a runner review here on, well, I shouldn't say here on, because we're on Randomania, but on the Free Enterprise channel. So plenty more Free Enterprise to come this weekend for y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Sheep, thank you very much for helping out with the commentary today, my friend.
Yeah, thanks to everybody who watched. Thank you, Blaze. Thanks again to Asuka and Chazman for their behind-the-scenes work, and we'll take you over to Jenica Strife.
We are working on that raid for you. Just a moment, everybody. There we go.
We just don't want to leave.
It was too fast. No, Asuka needs her nap, though.
So long, everybody.